Hello friends, welcome to our channel. Most here to Rudra. Today we are discussing about introduction to software engineering. First, we will talk about what is software. A software is a set of instructions to acquire input and to process them to produce the desired output in terms of functions and perform as determined by the user of the software. It is developed to handle an input-output process system to achieve the predetermined goal. In the, what does the software encompasses? The software encompasses of that. First is instruction documents, architecture. Example में जैसे आप देख सकते हो website, program और video games. That's our software encompasses. Software a product and a vehicle, and a software is a product deliver computing potential, and second one is produce, manages, acquire modifiers, display or transmit information. That is the software is a cellular phone or in any computer. And next one is characteristics of software. Software means anything which is not hardware but which is used with hardware, such as a window operating system in computer is hardware. You will get more precise idea about the characteristics of software and how it differ from the hardware from the software. Let's we talk about software. It is developed or engineered. It doesn't wear out as it is not to environmental problem. There are the no software spares part which can be used to replace the software. And fourth one is software is untouchable. It is the code or instruction that tell a computer hardware how to operate. It has no substances. And fifth one is software is usually generic, but it can also be custom built, developed according to the customer specification. Software is invaluable as it can be installed in any hardware. For example, Linux, Windows, any operating system that allow you to control your computer. And example 2 is internet browser, video games, application like payroll, etc. This is called software. And when we talk about hardware, then hardware, it is a manufactured. Hardware is manufactured. It wears out as the time passes due to the effect of dust, vibration, temperature, extreme and many such environmental problems. And next one is when hardware fails, it can be replaced by spare parts. Hardware is a physical device, something that you are able to touch and see. It is manufactured or assembled by using the existing component. And hardware has no value without software in it. If computer and no operating system, then no customer will buy it. For example, disk driver, display screen, keyboards, printer and chips. The next one is classes of software. Software is classified into two types of classes, that is generic and customized. When we talk about generic software, then it is designed for the broad customer market and is open to market, and its specifications are designed by the programmer. And customized software is that designed for the specific business purpose. It is designed for the specific business purpose is an software, and its specifications are designed according to the particular firm or organization. It is not open for all. For example, when we talk generic software, then its example is CAM package, operating system, system hardware. And when we talk about customized software, example is legacy system, process control system, traffic management system and hospital management system. And generic software development is done for the general purpose audience. Custom software development is done to satisfy a particular need of a particular client. Requirement and specification of this software are managed by the developer and managed by the customer and influenced by the practice of that industry. And General purpose software development is tough as compared with the custom made by the design and marketing point of view. But in a customized software, by buyer point of view, he prefer to have a custom made application developed rather than the buying a general purpose software, as he gets the application done that exactly matches their requirements. The next one is types of system software. System software are three types, that is the operating system, and second one is system support software, third one is system development software. Then we will talk about the operating system. Operating system act as an interface between the user and the hardware and provides different services to the user. For example, DOS, Windows XP, Linux, etc. This is the example of operating system. And second one is system support hardware. System support hardware system support software manages hardware more efficiently. For example, driver of the input output devices or antivirus software. Drivers of the input output device consist of the interfacing programs which can be interact with input output device. Every input output device has its own driver program. Antiviruses program remove viruses from the system and sometimes recover system from the major data loss. System development software. System development software supports the programming development environment to the user. For example, editor, preprocessor, compiler, interpreter, loader, etc. Editor is used to create the program as well as it is used for the modification of existing program, and preprocessor work before the use of transistor, that means the compiler or editor, to replace some segment of code with some other segment. It is also called as the expansion. Compiler can translate high level program into the low level program. Interpreter can translate line by line high level program into the low level program. Loaders are the software which can be load object code into the main memory and execute it. The next one is application. Application software में क्या होता है? Application software is the only designed to solve user problem as per requirement. Application software can generic or customize. Application software is classified into two categories, that is a general purpose category, special purpose category. General purpose software is used for much number of tasks and provide many features. It is a generic software. For example, when we talk about general purpose software example, then we see that word processor, Oracle, Excel, etc. are the example of general purpose software. The next one is special purpose software. It is designed for the specific purpose only. User program come under the special purpose software. It is a customized software. That is a example. Payroll system for the specific company and task calculation software, etc. That's all called the special purpose program software. And a layered technology of software engineer. First is the quality focus, second one is process, third one is methods, and fourth one is tools. Then first we talk about quality focus. Software engineering reset on an organizational commitment to quality which leads to continue improvement in the software engineering process. Focus on the quality is always the primary goal of software engineering. In short, we can say that the software is the qualitative. First, if it is a read and understood easily, if it is a modifiable and accommodate new requirement, if it has a customer satisfaction and is completed in time within the budget. The primary goal of any software process is high quality. High quality is the primary goal of any software process. And what is a software process? When building a product, it is important to go through some predictable step, that is called process, that help you to create timely and high quality product. The process is the foundation of software engineering. It defines the framework that must be stabilized to ensure the effective delivery of the software engineering technology. The key use of the process is producing models, document data, forms and report, stabilizing milestone, software quality as well as software configuration changes management. And what is a software engineering method? Method is an ordered way of developing a software. This includes the suggestions for the process to be followed, the notation to be used, the rule governing the system description, and the design guidelines. It provides the technical how-to as for the building a software. It includes how to implement the following generic processes. First is the communication, second one is the requirement analysis, third one is design, fourth one is the program construction, fifth one is testing, sixth one is maintenance. They provide the automated or semi-automated support for the process and the method. For example, when we talk case tool, then they provide the automated or semi-automated support for the process and the method. In second point, the case represent computer aided software engineering tool used in the software development process. A case tool is the computer aided product especially designed to support the software engineering activities within a software development process. Example of case tool is code generation case tool, that is a Visual Studio.net, code analysis case tool, borderline audits case tool used for the development of data model UML. UML means Unified Modeling Language Editor. Cleanup code case tools, refactoring tool, bug trigger case tool, version control case tool, that is CVS, the etc. Benefits. What is the benefit of case tool? The benefit of case tool is improve the productivity. Second one is generates small parts of code automatically. Third is improve software quality. Fourth one is can be integrated with other tools, say with code editor to work with coder. The next topic is core principle of software engineering practice. Principle means an important law or assumption required in a system of thought. Principle help us establish some standard or rules for the solid software engineering practice. David Hocker has proposed 7 core principles that focuses on software engineering practice as listed below. First one is provide value to your user. The reason it's all exists because before preparing specification, before determining the hardware, platform or development process, be sure that this adds real value to the system. If it is doesn't, they don't do it because the software system exists only for one reason, that is to provide the value to its user. Keep it simple, stupid. That is a software designing should be simple as possible. Means when you design a software, then it should be simple as possible. But simple doesn't mean discarding any internal feature, and neither has it mean quick and dirty. Simple means the software is less error or easy to understand and maintain. And third one is maintain the vision. A clear vision and conceptual integrity is essential to the success of a software project. What you produce, other will consume. The software engineer should always specify, design and implement the software product knowing that someone else will have to understand what you are doing. The user of his product are potentially large. He should design and code keeping the end user in the mind, because making the end user job easier adds value of the system. And fifth one is be open to the future. A system with long lifetime has more value. A system should be developed so that the entire system can be reused, and this is possible only if it is adaptable to the changes. Plan ahead for the reuse. Reuse save time and efforts. Use of object-oriented technologies lead to the benefit of reuse of code and design. Reuse reduces the cost and increase the value of both the reusable component and the system into which they are incorporated. 7 is think before you do. It is the most important work that think before you do. When you do designing, then first you think before how to, what is the requirement of that and how to make this. Then think before you do. Always make clear and complete planning before doing any action. This will produce better result. When you think about something, you are more likely to do it right, or you may at least gain knowledge to how to do it right the next time. And next one is software development life cycle. We are called it SDLC. The system development life cycle is a conceptual model used in software project development that describes the phases involved in developing an information system. It includes all the details right from the initial feasibility study through the maintenance of the completed applications. Various SDLC methodologies has been designed to help the developer, including the Waterfall model, which was the original SDLC. SDLC means software development life cycle. Rapid application aperture, and spiral model. Uses of methodologies differ as the type of the project differ, but in the final analysis, the most important factor that makes the project helpful is how closely it conforms to the user requirement. First is the preliminary investigation. Second one is a requirement analysis. Third one is design. Fourth one is coding. Fifth one is testing. Sixth is implementation and evolution. And seven, last but not the least, that is a maintenance. Then we will talk about preliminary investigation. This activity includes the activities of the requirement gathering, analyzing and designing the requirements is an effective manner understandable by the client. This phase is accomplished by the conducting formal and informal interviews with the client and end user. Then requirement analysis is that once the requirement of the proposed project are defined, the requirement analysis is done to enable the software engineer to better understand the problem they will working on. The analysis is performed using set of analysis techniques such as the decision trees, decision tables, and that lead to the understand what impact the software will have on the business, what are the customer want, and how end user will interact with the software. Thus the involvement of both software engineers and end user is needed in requirement analysis. That is, in this both software engineer and end user interact in requirement analysis. And third one is the design. The proposed system is designed using the design model such as the functional decomposition diagram, data flow diagram (DFD), entity relationship diagram, that is a ERD, or any unified language diagram. Then fourth one is coding. The new component and program are developed. This phase is just implementing the design into programming language. That means it actually developed the. Fifth one is testing. This phase tests whether the software gives the valid and expected output or not. Are there any error or bugs in the development of software, or if any changes are required? Testing is required because an enormous and improper development of software causes financial loss, time loss, and loss of efforts put in developmental process if the error are not detected and eliminated. It increases the estimated cost of the system development. The cost of fixing a bug and making the required changes in earlier phase of software development is less as compared to the same detected in the later phase. This is because making changes in earlier phase is easy, and if the bugs are detected in later phases, it becomes difficult to repeat the previous phases once again in order to make the required changes. Thus the cost goes high. Therefore, the testing must be done from the initial SDLC, that is the software development life cycle. SDLC is most important phase to prevent and detect the bugs so as to reduce the cost and risk. Then sixth one is implementation and evolution. The developed system is installed on the client computer. This is the done in various way. In the new system is implemented in a new application or location, or it is implemented gradually step by step, such that old system is gradually replaced or the new system is implemented all at one time, because it may be more cost effective to shut down the old system. Evolution is the process of verifying the capabilities of a system, where it continuously evaluates and checks whether the proposed system is meeting its objects or not. And seventh is the maintenance. Once the new system is installed and is running for a while, it is evaluated to check whether it is executing properly without any error or not. If there are any error, then they are repaired by doing some modification and retesting that part. Maintenance is done carefully at all the times. User of the system should be kept up to date regarding the latest update of the system. The next one is requirement analysis. Requirement analysis is the first phase of the software development lifecycle. A requirement model is the bridge to design and construction of a quality software product. This bridge originates at the feet of the stakeholder, that is a customer, manager or end user, who demand the requirements. They specify the desired function, quality attributes and other properties of the software that is to build or assemble, that is a design. System description, analysis model, design model. That is a requirement analysis is an activity that involves gathering, analyzing and accurately representing the client requirement in a manner that can be effectively implemented in a system. That will conform to the client platform or specifications. And definition of the requirement is that it is a condition demanding by the user to solve his problem and achieve objective. Requirement engineering requires people with both communication and technical skills. For example, a requirement for a car should be that the maximum speed to be at least 120. Defining the requirement is the first step in the development of the system, but in many situations, enough care is not taken in stabilizing correct requirement. This causes the problem later in the development life cycle, and more time and money is spent in fixing this problem. Requirement analysis helps software engineers to better understand the problem they will work to solve. And when we talk about it encompasses to set a task that lead to understand what impact the software will have on the business, what the customer wants and how end user will interact with the software. Thus the involvement of the both software engineering and the end user is needed in the requirement engineering. That is a more important. Then next one is the software requirement. What do you mean by requirement? Requirement is about what rather than how. Means a requirement is a condition needed by the user to solve a problem or achieve an object. For example, a requirement for a car should be that a maximum speed is 120 miles per hour. Fuel tank should be at least 5 liters value and so on. And a requirement is first step in the development of the system, but in many situations, enough care is not taken in stabilizing correct requirements. This causes problem later in the developmental life cycle, and more time and money is spent in fixing these problems. Thus, it is necessary that requirements are stabilized in a systematic way to ensure their accuracy and completeness. But functional and non-functional requirement is that functional requirement describe the processing of this information, and non-functional requirement support the business standard and the business environment. Functional requirements are the services that a system should be provided, that is a do and don't of the system when a particular input is given. And non-functional requirements are the constant applied to the service of the system. Non-functional requirement may be the color of the user interface, speed of input output, communication, security of the information. Non-functional requirement is a categorized as follows: that is the product requirement, organizational requirement, external requirement. Then first we talk about product. What is the requirement of product? Product requirement state the behavior. State the behavior of the product: performance, reliability, portability, usability. Second one is organizational requirement. Specify the policies and procedures followed by the customer and developer. Organization process policies, implementation policies and delivery policies and produces. External requirement are the state of the external factor of the system and the developmental process, interoperability, ethics. Non-functional requirement are the three, that is the product requirement, organizational requirement, external requirement. In product requirement there are the four types, that is the performance, reliability, portability, usability. And organizational requirement has also four parts, that is the process policies. Second one is the implementation policies, delivery policies and procedures. And in external requirement is interoperability, ethics, legislative requirement. And legislative requirement have its own two types, that is the privacy and safety. Then we will talk about performance. What is the performance of the product requirement? Every system will have the implicit performance requirement. Performance requirement can be listed as throughput, availability, response time, capacity planning, competitive analysis and benchmarking. Product must be compared with other products in the market and other various parameters to prove that it is better than that of the competitor. But in reliability, it is the ability of the subsystem or a system to confirm that it performs the user required function without any frequent error. It is about how long and how efficiently system work without any error. It means the bug-free execution, that is assured performance, fully verified and validated process, secured and safe to work when breakdown or power crisis. It should be reliable in all conditions. Reliability is measured in terms of the mean time between the failure, average time between the consecutive failure in the given period of life of the system, mean time to repair the equipment and mean time to recover. Average time taken to a system to the where it is a failed and continue with its operation. And third one is portability. Ability to transfer the software from one environment to another. It is about developing the software to run on one operating system or hardware configuration while being conscious of how it might be saved with the maximum effort to run on other operating system and hardware configuration as well. Usability. Ease of use, that is, it means that the software must be user friendly and software should have good documentation and user manual which may include the installation and the process of using the software. This make easy for the new learner and operate just by studying the manual. But in fifth, interoperability, it ensures that two or more products can exchange information or uses the software development process. And sixth one is privacy. Protection from the unauthorized access. It is related with the extent of access to the software by unauthorized person can be controlled. Thus, user requirement and system requirement, that is a type of requirement. User requirement means types of requirement are total, that is a user requirement, system requirement. User requirement is that these requirements can also be said as a functional requirement, as they state that what functions are expected from a system by the user. Describe the services and constraint of the system. Then second one is describe in nature, language or in diagram, readable and understandable by the everybody. serve business objective. And third one is system requirement. Elaborate the user requirement to get more detailed and precise idea of the soft system should be do. Describe the services and content of the system in details. Is useful for the designing and development of the system. That is a support a structural representation covering all the classes. For example, when we talk about example, functional requirement library should be allow borrowing book from the library. Non-functional requirement library system should be provide a borrow function allowing the user to borrow the book. The transaction fails if the book is already borrowed or if the book is not available in the library or if the user has already borrowed 5 books or if the user owns any penalty. That is the example of system requirement. Then interface specification. The next topic is interface specification. Is that large complex system are decomposed into a simple subsystem, each with a well-defined interface. Interface specification of a subsystem lead to the independent development of the different subsystems. Each of these interfaces may be defined as abstract data type or object classes. The algebraic approach, the system is specified in the term of its operation and their relationship to formal specification is well suited to the interface specification. And the component of interface specification is introduction, description, signature, and exams. The next topic is software development process model. A software process identifies a set of activities that are applicable to the development of any software project regardless of their size or complexity. A software process is the collection of work, activity, action and tasks that are to be performed when same software project is to be developed. Software process can be categorized into the generic process model, represent the framework activities populated by the set of software engineering activities. It means the personal in framework activity populated by the set of software engineering activities. And second one is personal and team process model. That is the more important. This model helps in creating a software that best fit either the personal need to the user that meet the broader need of the team. And third one is prescriptive process model. Provides an ordered structure and an effective roadmap to the software engineering work. The prescriptive process model is prescriptive model define the discrete set of activities and action to accomplish all tasks of the software with milestone which is used to develop the software. These process model may not be perfect but they give very good guidance in software development process. Usage is that it used by the software engineer, manager, all employees who play important role to develop the software. Importance is that this model is important because it produces stability. It produces control for organization activities and it is also referred as a rigorous model. Steps are that this process guides software team. It generates framework activities to organize into a process flow. Process flow may be linear or incremental or evolutionary. The terminology of each model is different. Work product is that the work product is the program document and data that produce a sequence of activities as well as tasks defined by the system. In ensure these mechanisms determine the maturity of the software using the quality, timeliness and long-term validity of the product. The best indicator are the user who use the product and judge the efficiency. The prescriptive model is also called as the conventional process model. In short, it describes a unique set of framework activities. It should be populate framework activities to set a software engineering action. These actions are used to create work product to accomplish to meet the development goals. But in fourth number, it find out the nature of project, whether the suitable for the people using it, whether it is suitable for environment where it is implemented. But activities in any process model include requirement gathering, planning, modeling, construction, and development. And when we talk waterfall model, then it has 7 phases. That first is the preliminary investigation, second is the system analysis, third one is system design, and fourth one is coding, fifth one is system testing, sixth one is system implementation, and seventh is system maintenance. The waterfall model was first proposed by the Winstone Royals. It suggests systematic sequential approach for the software development. It is the oldest paradigm for software engineering. That is, it is the oldest software development life cycle. Preliminary investigation is that means total inspection of the existing system, that is a clear understanding of the system. Its basic task is to find out the real problem of the system with causes and complexity of the problem. Its secondary but very important task is to find out all the possible solutions to solve that problem, and according to that which solution is feasible for the system in terms of technologies, cost, operational. Its last task is to mention all the benefit can be expected after the problem is solved. So this phase is divided into three main goals as follows. That is, the first is the problem identification, second one is possible and feasible problem solution, that is a feasibility study, expected benefit after the problem are solved. Then we will talk about the problem identification. It required to completely investigate the environment of the system. Generally, it required the studying two environments, internal environment and external environment, which are listed below. First is there are the normally 7 types of problem encountered in the system. First is the problem of reliability. If system may not work properly or same procedure give different result, then it is called of problem of reliability. But in second case, problem of validity report contain misleading information, and problem of economic is system is costly to maintain. Problem of accuracy reports have the many errors. Problem of timeline is every work required the large time. But in problem of capacity, the capacity of the system is inadequate. Problem of throughput, that is system does not produce the expected result, or we can say that system has more capacity but it accomplishes very less work as compared to capacity. The main advantages of waterfall model is it exactly pinpoint the problem, so it is a very useful in setting all the goals of the system as well as it to decide system boundaries. Project feasibility studies, that feasibility study is essential to evaluate cost and benefit of the proposed system. This is the very important step because on the basic of the system design is taken on whether to proceed or to postpone the project or to cancel the project. But need of feasibility study is it determines the potential of existing system. It find or define all the problem of existing system. It find technology required to solve these problems. But in 6, it determine more suitable solution. Methods are steering committees. This committee conducts detailed studies. This committee first studies existing system and identifies all the problems and looks like into 3 types of feasibility studies. Those are the given below. It is technical feasibility, operational feasibility, economic feasibility, organizational feasibility, cultural feasibility. Types of feasibility study are first technical feasibility. It includes finding out the technical feasibility of existing as well as proposed system. It involves following steps. That is, it determines available hardware and new hardware requirement. It determines available computer and new configuration. It determines the available and new software. It determines operating time of available system and new system. It mentions old as well as new facilities which will be provided by the proposed system. If it mentions all the benefit of the system, but operational feasibility is that it is also called as a behavior feasibility. It find out the whether the new technologies or proposed system will be suitable using the three types of aspects that are the human, organization, and politics. It finds the ease of operation of proposed system that compared to existing system. In next is system analysis. System analysis means this phase is about complete understanding of all the important facts of the business based on the preliminary investigation. First one is it is the study of all the components of the system as well as interrelation between all components of the system and relation between the component and environment. It determines what is the done in the organization. It find the procedures of how to do that. What is the input data? But what is the procedure through which input are to be converted into output? When should be transaction occur on the data? When problem arises, determine the scheduling of solution to solve it is what are the reason behind this problem. But methodologies of the system analysis is identifying the system boundaries, understanding the role and interrelationship of the element with other element of the same system. And objective of system analysis is define the system, divide the system into smaller parts, find all nature, functions and interrelationship of the various parts of the system. If the system is not analyzed properly, then there may be problem in the preliminary investigation phase. Software design. The main objective of this phase is to design proposed system using all information collected during the preliminary investigation and directed by the system analysis. This is a challenging phase and includes following steps: design of all types of input proposed system, that is a design of all types of output of proposed system. But is many cases design of the procedure which convert input and output and design of the flow of information. Design of information which is required to store the within a file and database volume. Design of collection of input using the form, that is a manual form. Design in term of programs specification, that is a logical design. Logical design, it determines the hardware cost capabilities. It determines the speed of software. It determines either stay rates and other performance characteristics are also specified. It also considers the changes to be made in the organizational structure of the firm in design. This page also designs the standard for testing documentation. Generally, traditional tools are used for the designing of the procedure that are as allowed, that is a flowchart and algorithm. IOP means input processing and output, and HIPO, that is a hierarchy of IPO, that is a chart in decision tables, data flow diagram. If system design phase is facing problem during the design, then first go to back to the analysis phase, but redesign the system. But if problem is not solved, then go to the preliminary investigation. In coding, this phase is just implementing the design into the programming language. That means the actually developed proposed system. It involves it first of all find out the best suitable programming language that is suitable for the design as well as also suitable in the organizational. It accepts design and break system modules in the smaller program. It develops or writes program for each part. Is selected programming languages, prepare documentation, that means add necessary comments line or wherever necessary within the programming. Now it combined all this small program together and builds one big program, not problem. If any problem occur during the coding phase, the waterfall model tries to solve it. The repeated system design phase. First is the If the problem does not get solved, then waterfall model repeats the system analysis phase and system design phase. If that problem does not get solved, then waterfall model repeat from the first phase, and that is a preliminary phase through system analysis phase and system design phase. If coding phase produces all the expected result, then it goes to the next phase. In testing, this phase includes the testing of the code or program developed by the coding phase. This includes the following steps. First of all, it finds out all the possible expected result, that is the output data for the set of input data. It also checks the validity of the input data as well as the checks expected output data. It finds the speed of function using the special code. But when we talk about the testing, it determines whether each of program can perform the indeed task or not. But in many cases, it checks the result by the test data. It checks the logic of the individual program. It checks the interface between the various programs. It checks the quality of code in terms of speed and space. And in testing, find out the system does not produce expected result, then this problem is solved by the repeating the previous phase as needed to. If testing phases find out the system produces all the expected result, then it is a goes to the next phase. But in system implementation is not a creative process, but it is somewhat difficult task. This phase has two parts, that is the implementation and evolution of the system. Implementation, there are the two ways of implementation. There are the following steps. Implement proposed system with existing old system and find out the performance of the both system, and slowly replace new system with older ones. Totally replace old system with proposed new system. This factor of the second type of the implementation is more as compared to the first one. Second step needs strict evolution. Both types of implementation consist of the following steps. It prepares site for the next proposed system. It install required hardware within the system. It install the required software in the system. It install or develop code, that is a program in the system. It prepare training program for the user of the proposed system as well as customer of the system. It gives training to all type of user of proposed system. If users are facing any problem regarding the new system, it tries to find out exact phase from where the root cause of the problem start, and accordingly start waterfall model. Evolution is nothing but the feedback for the system. It is the very essential checkpoint of the system, which is the process of verifying the capabilities of the system. It continuously evaluates and checks whether the proposed system is meeting the objective or not. And development evolution, it checks whether the system is developed within time. It checks whether the system is developed within the budget. So system is passed by the development methods and to operational evolution. It checks the response time of the proposed system. It checks whether it is a really easy to use or not. It checks the accuracy of computation. It is the same in testing also. It checks the storage capacity. It checks the reliability. It's check functioning of the existing system, collect necessary feedback from the user. It find all benefit of the proposed system. Maintenance, and in last maintenance is the process in which it find out the essential changes, that is the new trend of the market or business, to correct some error and tries to implement in it the existing system. There are the usual three types of maintenance. First is the correction, second one is adoption, third one is enhancement. Then we will talk about the correction. Sometimes proposed system has two types of error, and it is the duty of software engineer to correct it as soon as it is encountered by the user. Generally, there are the four types of error. The first is minor changes in the processing logic, error detected during the processing, revisions of the format of data for input, revision of the format of the reports. These errors can be corrected by the repeating waterfall model from the coding phase through testing, implementation and maintenance. Adoption. So sometimes our proposed system is executable on Windows environment, but somebody wants to run it in Linux environment or some other operating system, there will be the required to design or propose system from the third party. Third phase, that is a from system design phase. Enhancement means that sometimes new hardware is required to add some extra feature. For enhancement, it may be repeated without system or may repeat it from the design phase of the system, from the coding phase. But in enhancement, because of new technologies and businesses competition, organization need to be imply or to add new function or additional capabilities for proposed system. After sometimes people think that some techniques may be used in the system or some additional feature can also be added into the, but it is not required. Advantages of waterfall model is define the main very first software development process. If the product of waterfall model always defines the constant of the organization, it always produces a good quality product in terms of space and times. And drawback of the waterfall model are as follows. A real product rarely follows this sequential flow. Because of the iteration changes can causes the confusion as the project team proceeds. It is very difficult for customer to state all the requirements in one time. Many projects face this uncertainty at beginning only, so it is very difficult to design the next phases. Time span required for each phase could not be specified necessarily. Project require more time. Project becomes lengthy also. Customers should have the patience it tries to solve time consumption in earlier stage. The second version of the waterfall model tries to combine all the 7 phases of waterfall model into the 5 phases. The 5 phases are that communication, then planning, then third one modeling, fourth one is construction, third and fifth one is deployment. And in communication phase, it perform all the function of preliminary investigation, perform identification and information gathering. Planning phase, it set goals and decide plans of object using goals and tasks of the proposed system feasibility study. Modeling phase is this phase perform all the functions of system analysis and design. Construction phase, it is nothing but the coding and testing phase. Deployment phase, it combines implementation and maintenance phase. Main drawback of waterfall model is customer could not explain all the problem in one time. It is time consuming and lengthy. But iterative development, it is called as it can also be the incremental process model. In iterative enhancement, extension and design modification in the project can be made up in the increment at each step. The iterative enhancement lifecycle models removes the limitation of the waterfall model. But in incremental model, as soon as the customer comes to the software engineer to give a requisition of the new project to software engineers, he collect information from the user to start preliminary investigation. He immediately incremental towards the second phase and third phase, and he start to analyze the design the system. He start the convert design into the coding. That is a times on calendar goes some function of software are also progress toward the completion. But when we talk on the testing of the first requirement goes toward the completion stage, customer comes home with the second requirement. Immediately he start to collect all the essential information for the second increment, that is a preliminary investigation of the second requirement is parallel. He start the implementing first requirement, that is a module 1 well as he start designing the second requirement, that is a module 2. An example of incremental model is that the software word processor is designed using the incremental model. It is the design as well as follows. The customer comes to the software engineer and gives the requisition of new project of the word processor to the software engineer. He starts to collect the information from the customer. Customer tells him to design the file management system with all editing function and document production function. Immediately software project team start preliminary investigation to decide the plan. Software engineer immediately increment towards the second phase and third phase and start to analyze the design the system. When third phase of the first increment leads towards the completion start, then the customer comes with the second requirement, that is about more sophisticated editing capabilities like copies and paste and find capabilities. He start the preliminary investigation of the second increment in parallel. He start to convert the design into the coding of first increment, as well as he design the plan and objective of the second increment. For these sophisticated editing capabilities, he start the implementing first requirement, that is a core module, as well as it start design of the second requirement. Second module maintains the phase of the first module is continuing, then the simultaneously coding of second module is starting, as well as the customer may ask for the third party requirement, that is a spelling and grammar checking feature that is started for the third incremental model. Summarizing the method used in incremental model is generally in incremental model the first incremental is core product with the include maximum basic requirement, that is sequence. Second incremental and third incremental include all the supplementary feature and unknown feature and increase with the feature more reliability and function. And advantages of incremental model is that preliminary investigation time is very small or reduced. It requires very less time as compared to waterfall model. It requires less number of staff to develop the system. Customer to is satisfied because of quick development of the new system. If system has many increments, its functionalities also increases, thus the product has many features. And drawback of the incremental model is that all the tasks are not decided in the first phase, so there may be same problem with designing phase, that it means overall design of the system is not so good. It may produce software which require large space in the memory. Sometimes speed of software is also slow. Delivery date of the product could not be certain. Now levels of increments may require new hardware because of old hardware is involved with the old increments. Sometimes it produces same code in different model because of the partial functionality. Sometimes problem is not identified properly, but the quality of the software product is poor. And what is a RAID model? RAID is the rapid application development. It is a high-speed adoption of the waterfall model. It is the example of the incremental software process model. The main disadvantages of incremental model is that the quality of the product is very poor, as well as it is also requires the more time to develop. Therefore, the RAID model is only designed to produce the good quality product in the very